alarm.
Are you? Okay, that would be
I'm going to
really
do that
helpful.
right now. I'm going to do it right now. Hello, everybody. I'm going to set an alarm
Morning.
really quick. Let me do that really quick, and then we're going to get
Okay,
started.
she's setting an alarm for me to take my drugs.
7:30 my time, right? It's 7:30
Yeah.
my time. Okay,
Yeah, I
I'm
gotta
going to
take
do
my second dose.
7:30. All right, I just said it. We're all going to be startled in about an hour. Prepare. Sorry about this today, but I forgot that I am part of the show, and I forgot. I was like, oh, I didn't set my alarm.
We've been
like
promoting it
earlier.
all
I've
week.
been promoting it. It's fine. It's fine. It's just early onset Alzheimer's. It's fine, Amy Jo. Okay, so listen, you guys, we had a deep dive yesterday with Monica Crowley. It's coming out tomorrow. She's delightful.
She really is awesome to talk to.
And I could tell she was lamenting the fact that she had to like do her hair and her makeup because she's used to doing her podcast with no visual, but she doesn't realize that you could just put a ball cap on and look like this on our show. Nobody cares. You know what I mean?
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
And also, you look really good. So shut up.
Please. Seriously. I like this is not. Anyway, so we had a really delightful time talking to her yesterday. She's really she's fun, and she gave us some dirt. And it was just nice to be able to chat with her about her background and stuff like that. And also what's going on, all the crazy shite that's going on in the world. So you guys check that out tomorrow. It drops tomorrow afternoon. Okay.
Yes. It does, in fact, drop tomorrow. I know I saw people in the pre-chat, like in the tailgate, they were like, oh, I can't wait to see Mock on drugs this morning.
She's on drugs.
I mean, I am on drugs, but like I took the first Valium last night. And so I'm just, it's not like I'm deeply impacted by it. I just feel a little tiny bit woozy, tired maybe, but I do have to take the second one 15 minutes before the show ends today. So
got an alarm set, you guys. I got an alarm set for her.
So that's going to be a thing. And so, yeah, that's going to be a thing. Also, thank you, Laura Kate Baker. Thank you very much. She says, Daisy, love your cap. Happy Friday. Love you guys.
Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you. And I'm representing today. I've got a lot of Texas stuff, but I'm representing.
Well, and we are going to be talking about Texas a lot because this is, of course, the big news of the day. In fact, I found myself getting irritated last night. We had on Fox and we had like just the new, like the regular news, right? Like the Brett Baer news going. And I was irritated that the entire show was not devoted to what's happening because I feel like this is the biggest thing in the world right now. There's nothing bigger than the fact that we could be heading into a civil war. I feel like that's kind of a big deal.
Massive constitutional crisis is happening right now. just a little bit.
Oh my God. And yesterday, Biden set a deadline of today for Governor Abbott to fall in line. And Governor Abbott was like,
suck it. He was like, suck it. What are you going to do? What are you going to do, Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know we have a lot of stuff to talk about with it, but there are Texans down here who are like serious people who are dormant. Like I look at my husband as a perfect example. My husband is not political at all because I'm political. My husband's a conservative, but he's not political. So when we are not doing the show, like when I'm just walking about in life, like we don't talk about politics. We have a million other things to talk about. So we don't do that. We don't discuss these sorts of things. However, yesterday I had it on. I had the news on. I was watching this. I'm riveted by all of this stuff. And I was like, can you believe what's going on? And he said, you know what? If the crap hits the fan, if this stuff actually comes to fruition, I'm going to the border. I'll go. And so he represents to me a lot of people who are dormant, who feel like, I cannot believe that it has come to this point.
Right.
And that the federal government would actually do this. And there are a lot of Texans who just love Texas, who just feel like they're just so upset about this because this is not okay. This is so much about the federal government has a responsibility to its citizens to keep them safe. The fact that they're not doing this and they're blatantly doing the opposite is my mind is blown. I can't believe what is happening right now. So God bless Texas. Indeed. There are people itching to go defend Texas and defend.
They're already on their way and there's already people there. And it's actually a little bit, I don't want people to do that yet.
No.
because we've got now 25 states who are standing firm and ready to send and sending their own National Guard to help the Texas National Guard. And so, there's going to be a showdown, and I just can't imagine that Biden is actually going to do something like that. He's going to try to federalize the National Guard or try to actually have some sort of a standoff, because he will look so bad in an election year. Like, that would be the dumbest move on his part, but he's been dumb before. So,
but the thing is, Mock, I totally agree with you 150%. And I keep thinking to myself, there's no way he's going to do that. Right. Cause I mean, why would you do that? But then you've got the Castro brothers who, one of them is the mayor of San Antonio, and he's the one calling for it. I'm just like, these people, Democrats, have lost their damn minds.
I know. It's extraordinary. I was showing Daisy before we went live. I was showing her this map that I saw on Twitter yesterday. I'll share it with you guys too. This was a proposed map for post Civil War and post America. And listen, aside from the fact that Canada is for some reason included,
we don't need to include
new
them.
Texas. I don't know why we need Canada in the new Texas. But I love this. And I feel like if we just give Chicago Stonia, that area, and Californistan, if we give those two areas just a few months to get all the normal people out of those areas and into New Texas, then this is a perfect divorce plan.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm totally down to clown with this divorce plan.
I mean, the fact that there are 25 states who have our backs, that's saying something. There again, there's the other half of the country is like rooting for Biden. Oh
my God, it makes no sense.
Maybe they need a little bit more space. And the crazies need to go. Like, I don't know, maybe we need to rearrange this a little bit, but still, I'm just astounded by what's happening. Cannot believe this.
This is a pretty good. I like the state. I like this setup. I'm very much in favor of it.
Yeah, Chicago Stonia. Yeah, just get rid of Canada. We don't need it.
Yeah, we just don't need that. No. And then the other thing I wanted to share, it's way too small for you to read, and I know that. I just want to call attention to the fact that a letter went out to House Intelligence Committee leaders, Speaker Mike Johnson, Chuck Schumer, from a whole bunch of retired FBI higher-ups, sounding the alarm about the threat of terrorism that we now face as a result of all of the military-age men from across the world having entered our country illegally. And so you can see this I think it's on Senator Portman's Twitter. You can read the whole letter there. But I mean, you can see that it's signed off on all these different former FBI, retired FBI folks, and it is utterly terrifying. I encourage everybody to read it, just because you need to be aware of the threat that we face, that Joe Biden has facilitated, that he is the cause of. And that's really what this whole fight is about, right? I mean,
I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's the FBI, but like one of the notes, he did like a little note after that, a comment that said, these are former employees back in the day when they used to give a shit. That's actually, I'm not paraphrasing. That's what he actually said. So just keep that in mind. Those are the FBI employees that are retired or, not working there anymore. They're like, wait a second. Like,
what the hell is happening?
What are you doing? Yeah. What are you doing? So we should pay attention to those people.
For sure. Mm-hmm. Eugene Heiger, thank you so much. He says, looking forward to seeing you with Mr. Valium.
Just wait. Fine. Wait like 50 more minutes. It's going to happen. Yeah.
You guys, we haven't mentioned them in a good long while. And in light of the fact that we recently, unfortunately and unbearably, lost 2 Navy SEALs, it's time for us to remind you about our friends at bonefrogcoffee.com. So if you, for some reason, have not been boned yet and have not been getting boned every single morning with Bone Frog Coffee, this is a really good time to support that company, because it was started by a Navy SEAL, a 25-year Navy vet, Tim Cruikshank, and he created it as a tribute to Navy SEALs and the entire naval special warfare community, and especially to those who've lost their lives in service to the country. And so 10% of proceeds go to causes and organizations that support Navy SEALs. And so really it's like a near and dear cause, right? And then you add to that the fact that it's delicious coffee, and you've got yourself a winning combo right there.
I'm drinking red, white, and brew this morning. It's so good.
That's
You guys, the coffee's amazing. So yeah.
And so just if you want to try it, you can go to bonefrogcoffee.com/chicks. When you use code chicks, you get 10% off your first order. And you will also get 15% off any Bone Frog coffee subscription. And you can do a sample pack if you want to kind of test the brews and see what your favorite is before you do a subscription. But I can guarantee you once you try it, you're going to be subscribing. It is that good. bonefrogcoffee.com. Okay, so let's get to, well, first of all, I didn't mention, there were some things I wanted to mention ahead of videos. First of all, that Peter Navarro got sentenced. This is ridiculous. Peter Navarro got sentenced to 4 months in prison for defying the subpoena from the January 6th Congressional Committee. So apparently people do, people do actually face consequences and go to jail for defying subpoenas unless their name is Hunter Biden.
Right. Unless it depends on what side of the aisle you're on and whose kid you are, apparently. Yeah. Listen, I mean, that's not at this time. I think people are so right now. It just wasn't.
You sounded like Peter Griffin when you did that.
Yeah, it was. They're very Peter Griffin right now. I just don't think, why? It's like they're going like this to the American people. Neener, neener.
Yes, that is exactly what that feels like. Yes. Yeah. So that happened. Also, I just cannot even believe I have to say this to everybody, but this is a thing that's happening. The Wizard of Oz, one of the greatest movies of all time in space, and It's a Wonderful Life.
What?
Also, one of the greatest movies of all time in space. They are being remade with a diverse cast.
I can't. I just listen. I just put on my Facebook page yesterday that they're redoing Roadhouse.
I saw that.
And I was like,
Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah, and he's like sitting with his shirt open. I was like, no. I'm like, I reject this. I reject it all. You don't do that. Nobody else plays Dalton.
Oh my
Patrick
God.
Swayze. I was so pissed about this. And I'm so sick and tired of them remaking movies because nobody in Hollywood has any creativity whatsoever. Yeah. And believe me, I got pushback. I'm going to give it.
You did?
Yeah, I got pushback. You go read my Facebook thread. People who you wouldn't think that would push back were like, you should just give it a chance. I mean, it's like, what's the big deal about remakes? Remakes are crap. Have you seen Overboard? Have you seen Steel Magnolias? The only good remake, I'll give it to them. The only good remake was Ocean's 11. I mean, I actually do like that movie. That's the only one.
Fair. That was a really, really, really good movie.
Overboard? Come on. Anyways,
you don't remake that.
They all suck. I reject all of this. And the diversity thing, stop.
I know. I saw that and I was just like, I just can't with Hollywood anymore. I just cannot. Okay, so back to the border. First, we're going to start right out of the gate with Governor Abbott and just giving a rundown because he was asked in this video, he's asked the question, so what happens January 26th today, which is Biden's deadline? What's going to happen
Scary.
if Biden does try to nationalize the National Guard? Like, what are you going to do? Are you prepared to physically push back? And here's what he said.
Governor, will you instruct your officers to physically prevent federal officers from accessing that part of the border?
So what Texas is doing is just very simple. And that is because the Biden administration has really, truly abdicated its responsibility to secure the border and enforce the laws. Texas very simply is securing the border. And so we put up the razor wire that you were talking about, Bill, and we put up all these barricades that actually have denied illegal entry. And as you pointed out also in that screen, that there are criminals coming across our border. Texas has a right as a state to stop criminals from coming into our state, to make arrests of those criminals. And we have National Guard as well as Texas Department of Public Safety officers who are there to make those arrests and to deny illegal entry. And Joe Biden actually does have an option here. Joe Biden's option is to enforce the laws of the United States
Yeah.
and stop this illegal entry.
It's unbelievable.
It's not hard. It's not
The
hard.
fact that he's fighting it, wow, it's just freaking crazy. And then Democrats are like, but it's assault razor wire. it actually.
Please tell me they're not saying that.
I mean, I think I had a back and forth with somebody on Twitter about that yesterday because they were just like, but it's so mean. You know when it's not mean? It's not mean if you don't try to cross it.
Yeah.
That's
It doesn't
when
hurt
it doesn't hurt
anybody.
you.
God. Well,
Exactly.
and yesterday I was complaining about the fact that at the time of our show, my state, Indiana, had not yet joined the fight. Like they hadn't joined in support. But by the end of yesterday, I mean, 25 states are like, we got you, Texas. We got you. One of those governors, of course, is Kristi Noem, and she's ready to drive down some razor wire all by herself if she needs to.
Thank you so much for inviting me to talk about this. This is incredibly important, and Governor Abbott has done the exact right thing, and I'll drive him more razor wire from South Dakota if I have to for him to do his job. What people forget is that governors are commanders in chief. We're responsible for the men and women of our National Guard. It's a heavy responsibility that weighs on our shoulders. And so we never engage our National Guard soldiers and those men and women unless it's incredibly important and if we feel that we have the constitutional authority to do that in this situation.
Get him.
Get him, girl.
Get him. Yeah, get him, Kristi.
And so glad to see all the support. Governor Stitt from Oklahoma also ready for battle.
I mean, right now you've got the federal agents that are cutting the wire, and then you've got the Texas National Guard on orders to put up wire. I mean, this is a powder keg worth of tension. So it's very it's a very weird situation. We certainly stand with Texas on their right to defend themselves, but Biden's going to be in a tough situation. So in other words, he's going to try to federalize these troops. In other words, put them on federal orders. And so now their allegiance technically goes to the president of the United States instead of the governor. And of course, I think a lot of Texans, these are still, they're still Texans that are weekend, they're in the National Guards. They do 1 week in a month or when they get called up on duties by the governor. And I think they would be in a difficult situation to protect their homeland or to follow what Biden's saying.
Literally open it.
Very interesting. But then, then you've got Oklahoma and Florida and Tennessee, and you got all these other states that would send our National Guard to help and to support the efforts of Governor Abbott, because every state is a border state. You talked about fentanyl. The deaths in Oklahoma since I've taken office are up 500%. And we know that's coming across the southern border. And then you think about the terrorists. Again, I just don't know what their end game is here. And I hope American people really wake up to what's happening.
We know what the end game is. And that he brings up a really great point that needs to be talked about. These troops are people. And so if he wants to federalize these troops, I mean, you have to think about some of these people are like, what the hell is he doing? I mean, these are military people who, like he said, sometimes they do it on the weekends or whatever. But regardless, I mean, these are actual human beings that if they're he's going to be like, okay, you got to be on you got to be on the federal side, when a lot of these people are like, but I think your side is bullshit. I don't want to be on your side, Biden. I believe I believe in what Texas believes. And so, and I believe in America. I don't believe these people should be invading our country. So there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be like, I don't want to do what you want me to do, if in fact he does it.
And then you've got the whole, I mean, this is where it gets really scary, right? Because then you are going to have idiots like Castro, perhaps, who are also members of the National Guard. I'm not saying Castro is, but there's going to be people who think like him that are potentially members of the Texas National Guard that'll be like, yeah, I'm with Biden, fighting against literally their colleagues in the Texas National Guard. It is going to be a powder keg, and Joe Biden would be a complete idiot to federalize. It would be the dumbest mistake that he could possibly make, which is why I'm kind of convinced he's going to make it.
I feel like he is too, because he is so dumb. It's not him pulling the strings.
Right.
So it's like, what does Obama want to do?
Yeah, exactly. Well, KJP was asked how this is going to play out. And of course, she was as KJP as you can imagine. So utterly useful, but also very, very clear. She wants to be super clear.
She's so clear, you guys.
Homeland Security Department has asked for access to this park that is now currently in dispute. It doesn't seem like they've gotten it. They now are allowed to cut down razor wire. Yeah. Some Democrats are saying the president needs to federalize the Texas National Guard.
So look,
is that something that could happen?
I mean, look, I'll say this. You know, the Border Patrol agents are now, as you said, allowed to cut through the wire because of what the Supreme Court has laid out. It's unfortunate that we had to go there. It's unfortunate that there is a governor in Texas, Governor Abbott, who has politicized this issue of what's happening in the border. And it's not making people's lives safer. It's actually making it harder for law enforcement at the border to do their job. And so we have been very clear. We want to make sure we get something done at the border. That's why we've been having these conversations with Senate Republicans and Democrats for the past several weeks to come up with a bipartisan agreement to deal with the border. And look, if the governor is not interested in that, Governor Abbott is not interested in that. He wants to politicize an issue, and he's not helping communities. He actually isn't. And he's actually putting Border Patrol agents in harm's way by doing what he's doing. I'm not going to speak to any actions that the president might take, may not take, but we have been very clear on this.
Right. Okay. It's unfortunate that we're all having to go there because nobody would have to be at this place right now had he kept everything in place that Trump had in place. Mm-hmm. So, you know, she's full of crap.
And then to say that Abbott is politicizing an issue when he's simply trying to protect the state and thereby the country. I mean, how dare she? God, I just cannot stand.
Yeah, and not only that, but this whole bipartisan bill, they've not given people on our side a chance to read it. There's stuff in there like, 50,000 more green cards, all this other bull crap they're putting in there. They're basically giving more stuff to illegals. That's not a win
and actually,
for us, you guys.
You're gonna see the list because Rand Paul was asked about this bill. This is, of course, what Biden and KJP and all these people are trying to say. Oh yeah, they're making such progress, this bipartisan progress. No, it's a crap bill. And the fact that Trump is reportedly talking to senators, Republican senators, and encouraging them to not be in favor of this bill is great. So here's Rand Paul to kind of explain why it is so bad.
Yeah, and realize the bill is going to have more money for sanctuary cities. The other thing that's going to happen in this Ukraine bill is there's going to be $11 billion worth of humanitarian assistance. Some of that goes to Ukraine, but some of that's going to Gaza. And it's not clear exactly how much is going to go to the Palestinians, but it's sort of bizarre that we fund both sides of every war. You know, they're going to expect us to clean up and repair Ukraine when it's done being destroyed. The same with Gaza. Gaza's being destroyed, but who's going to have to pay for it? They expect us to pay for it.
Look at that.
And I don't want a penny going to Hamas or to any of these people. Look, I have great sympathy for those who live in Gaza and the mess that they're in, and I wish it would stop. But I don't think we should always have to pay for everything. When do we become the sugar daddy of the world? We got to pay for everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we are the sugar daddy, especially and right now we're the sugar daddy for illegals. We're the sugar daddy for everybody, but they want us that list. You guys saw that list: immediate work permits and all these green cards. No. No more.
And freaking disassociate it from Ukraine and Israel. This has nothing to do with other countries. It needs to be a standalone border bill.
Yeah.
The end.
And the Democrats are doing the whole Nancy Pelosi. We got to pass it to see what's in it.
Up
yours. Up yours. Yeah.
And then up this guy's, because Mitt Romney is like having the audacity, knowing how bad the invasion is right now. He has the audacity to be mad at Trump for encouraging Republican senators to stay the hell away from this bill. Here's Mitt.
Do you think this is what he wants, the issue, Donald Trump? This is what he's doing?
I think the border is a very important issue for Donald Trump. And the fact that he would communicate to Republican senators and congresspeople that he doesn't want us to solve the border problem because he wants to blame Biden for it is really appalling.
God, I swear that guy. I cannot believe I actually liked him in 2012 for like half a second. I hate myself for that. I swear. I cannot stand him.
Right? It's so infuriating on every level.
Yeah, they're not solving a problem. What they're doing is they're appeasing illegals. They're appeasing. It's all about what more can we give them? We've given enough.
Yeah,
we've given enough. We've allowed criminals into this country. We've allowed disease into this country. Enough is enough. We're done.
And Governor DeSantis came out in a selfie video yesterday afternoon that went absolutely viral because he is such a thoughtful and well-educated on the Constitution leader. And he laid it all out on the line, exactly what our founders would be thinking about this entire thing. And this video went viral. And I saw a lot of people going, man, we sure did miss an opportunity here. Of course, I am one of those people, and I make no apologies. Here's DeSantis.
Biden is going after Texas, saying that they must remove fortifications from their border. They put wire, they put things to keep people out. Biden's saying you got to take that down to let people come in illegally, which is just crazy. And I remarked that if the Constitution was originally understood to mean that a state could not protect itself against an invasion, if the federal government could force a state to allow an invasion, the Constitution would have never been ratified in the first place. Texas would have never joined the Union when it did. And if you look at Federalist 46, which Daniel Horowitz pointed out, James Madison talks about situations where federal encroachment can be mitigated by state action. So you have Texas here that's holding its ground. They have every right to fortify the border vis-a-vis an invasion, and that's Article 1, Section 10 of the Constitution. So they're in the right. You also have a situation where liberal jurisdictions over many, many years have been sanctuary jurisdictions against enforcing federal immigration law. So you'll have somebody who's a criminal alien, they will not be given over to ICE, and they will deliberately act to frustrate the laws on the books, and somehow that's viewed as okay. You have Texas, who's acting to enforce the laws on the books, to ensure that they have a secure state and that we have a secure country. So all of this is just nonsense what Biden's doing. Texas has every right to stand its ground. In Florida, we've been sending people to help for many years now because we understand it's not just a Texas issue. It's ultimately an American issue. And if we don't have sovereignty in this country, then we're not going to be a country anymore. So they have every right to hold their ground, to stay the course. And Florida will continue to be there, helping out every step of the way.
Somebody asked,
Bravo.
I think it was Kristen that asked, can you imagine Biden and him having that conversation? Biden would be like, what's a Federalist paper? What is that? I'm sure there are a lot of people who are like that when they listen to him. They were like, Federalist what? What is that?
Yeah, I mean,
it's not taught in school anymore. So why would kids know? Why would anybody know what those are and what that is, what the Constitution is for that matter? Honestly.
He definitely knows. Bow Mama 8, thank you so much. She says, I'm 62 years old and I have a pew-pew and a bow ready. I am headed to San Antonio this afternoon anyway for my 2-year-old granddaughter's birthday, but I'll be close enough to the border and would be happy to help wherever. That's the spirit,
you.
man. That
God
right
bless you.
there.
There's a lot of
spirit.
people that feel like you do. And like I said earlier, so many people have just been dormant. And because listen, we do our jobs, we take care of our families, we pay our bills like taxes. We're good, law-abiding, tax-paying citizens. And then this crap happens. Then you got the federal government and they're like, well, we don't want to protect you. You know, we're going to go ahead and we're going to make everything hard for you. Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? People are fed up with this crap. Don't push us.
In addition to all the 25 states that came out in support, there's all kinds of Mike Johnson has come out obviously in support of Texas too. And so too did RFK Jr. So RFK Jr. released a tweet and this is what he said. Texas is right. Biden's failure to secure the border leaves states no choice but to take matters into their own hands. As president, I will end this humanitarian crisis once and for all. I will secure the border and destroy the business model of the drug cartels. A country without borders is not a country at all. #Kennedy24.
He's right.
He is absolutely right. And Donald Trump, finally, he was very, very busy in court earlier in the day, but he also tweeted, when I was president, we had the most secure border in history. Joe Biden has surrendered our border and is aiding and abetting a massive invasion of millions of illegal migrants into the United States. Instead of fighting to protect our country from this onslaught, Biden is, unbelievably, fighting to tie the hands of Governor Abbott in the state of Texas so that the invasion continues unchecked. In the face of this national security, public safety, and public health catastrophe, Texas has rightly invoked the invasion clause of the Constitution and must be given full support to repel quell the invasion.
Yep.
And then he went on to say, we encourage all willing states to deploy their guards to Texas to prevent the entry of illegals and to remove them back across the border. All Americans should support the common sense measures by Texas authorities to protect the safety, security, and sovereignty of Texas and of the American people. When I'm president on day one, instead of fighting Texas, I will work hand in hand with Governor Abbott and other border states to stop the invasion, seal the border, and rapidly begin the largest domestic deportation operation in history. Those Biden has let in should not get comfortable because they will be going home.
Oh, preach it. God, I love that. And you know what? It is common sense.
It is.
And Democrats have none. This is insane that we're even talking about this. It's insane.
It is.
I never thought I'd see this in my lifetime. What is going on?
It's just absolutely incredible.
Madness.
Your Lieutenant Governor, Dan Patrick, also, I thought very, very nicely explained the legal aspect of what's going on with this whole issue right now. And so here he is. I think he's talking to Glenn Beck, if I'm not mistaken. And
this government has us constantly in a constitutional crisis.
Yes.
Is Texas willing to go to the mat with the federal government on this?
Yeah, on the border, absolutely. In fact, I co-wrote with the governor Senate Bill 4, which we passed at the end of last year in the umpteenth special session that we had. And it says that our law enforcement can now act as, in essence, Border Patrol. We can arrest, we can detain, we can put in jail people who come here illegally. And the bill says that if we see you cross, or if we happen to find out you cross, because maybe it's a traffic stop, well, where are you from? Well, I just came across the border, whatever is said, that we run a background check, fingerprints, and do a photo, and then we take them to a magistrate and we say, you can either go to jail or you can go home. And if you go home and you come back, you're going to jail for a long time.
Now, that would be great. SCOTUS doesn't have anything to say about that?
Well, we just passed in December. They're already suing us, and that will be up next. And I'm so disappointed this week because Arizona tried it in 2012. The bill is not as good as ours, and the court wasn't as conservative. So I think we have a real chance to win this. But what I saw from Amy Coney Barrett...
Do you have any idea?
I have no idea, because they didn't give a reason. How could she be separated from Alito and Gorsuch and Thomas and John Roberts? I get. I mean, he's. I mean, we don't have any confidence in him.
No.
Now, this was a temporary review of it. It will.
And it didn't stop Texas from doing anything.
Right.
It said the federal government can go and do this.
So we still have our wire there.
Yeah.
If they cut their wire, guess what?
You put new wire down.
We patch it up.
God, what a disappointment she's been, right?
Yeah, but a true disappointment. Yeah. And then, of course, this all comes down to the why, right? And Tucker Carlson, I thought, gave a very, very terrifying but also accurate picture of why this is happening in the first place.
The numbers you need to understand. Yale University released a study last week by 3 researchers, all of them liberal, I believe, who concluded that the actual number of illegal aliens in this country is not 11 million. It's north of 22 million. 22 million. Fact 1. Fact 2. The Democratic Party is now, as a matter of policy, calling for the legalization of all illegals in this country. Citizenship voting rights. 22 million new voters. Fact 3. The overwhelming majority of first-time immigrant voters vote Democrat. Fact 4. The largest margin in American presidential history was 17 million votes. 1984 election between Mondale and Reagan.
And Reagan, yeah.
17 million. You would add to our voter rolls 22 million, at least, permanent electoral majority in perpetuity. That's what this is about. It's not about making the country better, serving our labor needs, helping the population. It's about putting Democrats in power forever. That is the truth of our immigration debate, period.
It's about them having power and destroying
Forever.
our country in the process. They don't give a shit about this country. They don't care about you. They don't care about your families. These people are so gross. They are so grossly thirsty, hungry for power. God, they're gross.
It's vile. And unfortunately, you know, it's not just in Texas and on the Texas border, or not just on the Arizona border. And it's not foot traffic alone. This was an amazing video that I saw yesterday that was going around too, on the coast of California, of people just coming by this small boat and storming the beach and then literally just running through a beachside neighborhood to go God knows where. I mean, I don't even know where this is coming from. And they just abandoned the boat. You know what I mean? They're just like, "Bye, we don't need you anymore. We just need to be in the country." There's no border patrol here. You know what I mean?
People just filming it. Just
I wasn't
citizens, tax-paying citizens filming it. Unreal.
And this is probably a real nice neighborhood because it's beachside.
Looks like it. It looks like it. Unreal.
Imagine being one of the people walking through that neighborhood and you're like, what the hell? Who are these people? They have children with them.
Oh my God.
They're illegal aliens.
And then where? Where do they go? What do they do? Yeah. I mean, and people will say, "Oh my God, but they're just trying to get like a better life," you know? Really? Seriously?
No, they're not honestly trying to do that.
No.
What they're doing is they're coming illegally in the shadiest way possible.
Right.
Because they want a handout.
They
That's
do want
what
to
they're doing.
And they're bringing kids with them. I don't. That's also gross when you put kids in harm's way and you're doing what we just saw.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the handout. Handout.
And then you've got KJP who's trying to say the razor wire doesn't do anything. It doesn't help anything. Let's just see razor wire in action, shall we? Because oh wait, do I not have the razor wire? I thought I did have the razor. Yes. Here's what razor wire actually does.
I've never actually seen them do it.
So there's the illegals standing there because there's no way they're getting through that. Absolutely no way. And then here's National Guard just staring them down like, go away. You're not
Go back. Yeah, go
here.
back. Go back to where you came from.
You're going to tell me that doesn't deter them?
Yeah,
it's deterring.
It's definitely deterring. We need to put a sign up that says, "We're full."
Yeah. Turn around.
It's unbelievable.
Go back.
That didn't look like mothers with children either. Those three people didn't look like it.
No, they look fine. And then there's an interesting flashback that's also been making the rounds of Biden. I can't remember what year this is. It's like 2005 or 6 maybe, when he's being asked about sanctuary cities and illegals. And it's so weird because he has an entirely different outlook,
isn't it,
than he does today.
Would you allow these cities to ignore the federal law regarding the reporting of illegal immigrants and in fact provide sanctuary to these immigrants?
The reason the cities ignore the federal law is the fact that there is no funding at the federal level to provide for the kind of enforcement at the federal level you need. Pick up the New York Times today. There's a city not far across the river from my state that imposed similar sanctions. And what they found out is, as a consequence of that, their city went in the dumps, in the dumpster. Stores started closing. Everything started to happen. And they changed the policy. Part of the problem is you have to have a federal government that can enforce laws. This administration has been fundamentally derelict in not funding any of the requirements that are needed even to enforce the existing law.
Senator Biden, yes or no, would you allow the cities to ignore the federal law?
No.
Okay.
Oh my God. It's unbelievable, isn't it? Yeah, the cities become crap holes. Go figure. Yeah, and now he's fighting Texas on this.
I wish somebody would show him that video of himself and say, explain yourself at once.
Right. Can Peter Doocy do that? Because he's the only one that stands up to this guy. Like, can we just have somebody show it to him and be like, okay, what do you say about that? Okay. All right.
And then when the solutions are just right in your face and so simple, and that's what I think is probably the most aggravating thing about this whole mess, is that it's easily solvable. And Senator Kennedy laid it out, I thought, so well and so simply that everybody needs to hear
Senator
this.
Marco Rubio tweeted out, how can the Senate deal with the Biden White House on border security when the White House, as you just pointed out, just went all the way to the Supreme Court to stop border security and is fighting it every step of the way?
Yes, and again, it's not quantum physics. We need to change the definition of asylum. We need to put in a Remain in Mexico program. We need a safe third country policy. We need to finish the wall. And when you fail to convince a judge that you're meritorious of asylum, you need to be immediately deported. That's what we were doing the day before President Biden took office. He threw all of that out. All the president would have to do is just go back the day before he took office and do what we were doing then. And again, the presidents keep saying, well, I'm working with the Congress. I want to secure this border. I want to change the law. But he keeps refusing to reach an agreement.
Yeah, that's so common sense, though. That's why it's hard for these people. That's why it's hard for this administration, because it involves common sense.
I can't.
I know. It makes your head hurt, doesn't it? You should take your Valium now. You should take it at 20 minutes early.
No, it's too early. It's too early to take it.
It'll help you deal with all of this stuff.
But it's not too early for me to tell you that now is a really, 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 really good time to be thinking about how you might want to add precious metals and specifically gold, excuse me, to your financial portfolio. Because when markets do what markets do, and even when they look good as they do in the moment, as we've learned from Zach Abraham, we know a lot about the fact that this is all so not normal and that a crash is coming. And when crashes come, you know what holds its value? Gold and other precious metals. And if you've thought about doing that, but you've not really understood how that might work, or if you need physical gold, or if you just need a IRA that has gold in it as a value, the people to educate you are our friends at Birch Gold, and they will do it for free. All you have to do is text the word chicks to 989898, and they will send you a free information kit. And at that point, you read it, and it's super easy to understand. You read it, and if you decide, yeah, that sounds really, really good, you can convert part of or all of an existing 401k or IRA or whatever you want, whatever account you might have sitting out somewhere, or you want to just invest new money. You can do any of that with Birch Gold. Just text chicks to 989898. They're going to send you that free information kit, and then there's no obligation from there. You make the decision. It's just that you're going to be better educated when you do it. So think about doing that. Also need to thank Cade Gonzalez Orr, who says, I was once military police. I will drive down from Iowa. Look at that, Cade. You go, Cade.
That's awesome.
Just don't go yet.
I know. But see, that's the thing. There are so many people like you that feel exactly the same way. So I have no idea what he's going to do. I just wouldn't put it past him to be a complete and total idiot, because he is one. But I can't imagine the outcry from people here in Texas and across the country if he did do what he said or what people think he may do. Because man, people, it will awaken a sleeping giant.
Yeah. And what's interesting, I mean, I don't know, I don't think they put a time on their January 26th deadline. So what, at midnight tonight is something what's he going to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or am I going to be in my post-surgery nap and just miss it all? Am I going to miss the start of the Civil War?
I'll let you know. I'll totally let you know. But Biden's asleep. But it's so ridiculous. Biden's over there put him up. It's just so stupid. You guys are so stupid. It really is. He's an idiot.
I know. Sandra on Sig, thank you very much for that super sticker. And Judy Flackney, thank you. She says, just watch, though. When the deportations start, the left will criticize Trump for spending money on illegal immigrants.
Let them.
You can let them. Because if you look at the cost of what it would take to deal with an illegal immigrant for the rest of their lives here, or sending them home, I'll take sending them home.
And you know what? At this point, it's just words. Let all of those people call all of us xenophobes and racists and all the things that they've been calling us for years. I don't give a crap. If it helps save our country, I don't care. Call me all the names. People call me names all the time. I don't care. People make fun of the way I look. I don't care. I don't care. Send them back. I mean, so go ahead. Let them do it.
Yep. All right, let's talk about some election stuff. There was some hullabaloo yesterday that was really, really making me mad. And it was this fellow said that the RNC was reviewing a draft resolution that, if approved, would declare Trump the party's presumptive 2024 nominee, even as Nikki Haley wages a vigorous campaign against the frontrunner. And I tweeted this out, and I was like, if this is true, this would be one of the dumbest moves ever.
It was stupid.
And I was surprised to get pushback from people who are, go Trump, and which is fine, but they were pushing back. And I was like, so you're just gonna decide that he needs to be coronated now? That's the objective of the RNC, is just to forget the fact that we're in a primary and just coronate him? No, that is not how this works.
Yeah, we become the DNC.
Right. That's exactly right.
We have to at least be a shred better than them. I mean, I know that we're like the uniparty now, but let's just try to be like just a notch better than the Democrats. Come on, you guys.
I could not believe that anybody was in support of this. Here's a reporter's breakdown of kind of what was happening. I don't want Ronna to have that kind of power.
Well, this is really extraordinary. This would effectively, as you said, declare Trump the 2024 presumptive nominee. That means that the RNC would be moving forward with Donald Trump and effectively opposing the former governor from South Carolina moving forward. This is a huge break in how the party has originally dealt with this kind of nomination process, where they have remained neutral. Now, it's not that surprising, given that just yesterday we heard the chairwoman of the RNC on television essentially saying it was time to unite behind the eventual nominee, which is Donald Trump. That in itself was shocking when she said that, because that's usually a role, again, where you remain neutral. Now, here's...
Oh my God, but that's it. Listen, CNN saying this stuff, I kind of want to punch people in the face, because it's like, you guys are actually like, I don't know, casting judgment on the RNC, when again, the DNC does exactly what you're saying that we shouldn't do. They do exactly that. I mean, suck it. I can't.
Well, I was thrilled to see Donald Trump respond to this in the way that he did. And so suck it, all of you people who are like, are you at least going to say this about Donald Trump's reaction? Would you just give me a second, for crying out loud? I mean, I do tell the whole story.
Simmer down, everybody. Everybody simmer. Yeah.
So here is what he said, and I was so proud of him. He said, while I greatly appreciate the RNC wanting to make me their presumptive nominee, and while they have far more votes than necessary to do it, I feel for the sake of party unity that they should not go forward with this plan, but that I should do it the old-fashioned way and finish the process off at the ballot box.
Exactly.
Thank you to the RNC for the respect and devotion you have shown me. Trump 2024. Now, I would love for him to have given a PS that said, and because this was even a thought, I am going to completely disavow Ronna McDaniel henceforth and forthwith.
Yes.
But
that would have been
a
really, really great PS. Plus, I mean, and stop putting so much crap in your face. Oh my God. Yeah,
that would have actually been a Trumpy thing to do, right?
It would have been very Trumpy. I mean, it would have been nice for somebody to say that to her, and especially him, because we're used to him talking about facelifts. Just mention it. Just mention it.
I don't know what the tie-in is to Ronna. I just want him to extricate himself from her completely.
Just tell the world. Tell the world how useless she is.
For real.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Biden spent some time yesterday. I don't even know whether he was in Wisconsin or whether he was in Minnesota. He was in one of those places. And what did you?
It's a casserole. It's a casserole state. That's what I call them. They're casserole states. Listen, I'm not saying that to be mean, because I'm from Indiana. It's a casserole state. It is.
We're a casserole state too.
I think Indiana and Iowa are casserole states. Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, it's endearing. It's very endearing. I think Wisconsin is a casserole state. Minnesota, casserole state. You make a lot of casseroles.
It's a casserole. Well, he was in one of those states, and he gave a speech. It doesn't matter where he was, but he was talking about Amy Klobuchar. So that leads me to believe that it was probably Minnesota. But in any case, he had some moments in this particular speech which were so weird. So he pulled out his creepy whisper, the famous creepy whisper thing that he does when he was talking about some of the women that were there. And here is that weirdness right here.
And thanks to the outstanding senators, Tammy Baldwin of Wisconsin, Tammy's the one, and Amy Klobuchar and Tina Smith from the state of Minnesota. If I have all three of them on my side, I don't worry about anything.
Stop it. Stop doing that. I've been corrected because he's creepy. He's creepy. I've been corrected. I'm sorry. Hot dish states. I'm
Oh,
so
hot
sorry, you
dish
guys.
cake.
It's not.
Yeah, but
it's
then
cor-
you can't use the inflection.
the casserole. You can't say casserole. It's a hot. It's a hot dish. I made a hot dish. That's what.
I mean, what was that whisper
I
though?
don't.
Seriously,
He's whispering
What is that?
so much now. Like it's becoming a daily occurrence. The whispering.
Well, and then he tried to make, I guess, a joke that was actually, you could take it as an insult, or you could also just take it as Joe not having a single clue what he's actually saying. But there was also this moment.
I got to meet his twins and his wife, and no wonder he's here.
It's like crickets. Everybody's like, wait.
I tell you what, they're going to keep him here.
So he's insulting his wife and his kids. Like his wife and his kids
how
are
else do you take that?
They're so insufferable. That's why he's here. And everybody's like, oh, that was mean.
I'm not going to laugh at that because that seems kind of like that. That's not okay.
You're just not funny. You're not, Joe.
Well, and he's also, this was the most extraordinary moment of the same speech where I don't know what he says here. You guys, we can play it a couple times to try to figure it out. But he says a bunch of gibberish here. What's more amazing about the fact that he says gibberish is the reaction of the crowd who's like, yeah. Like they totally understand what he said. I have no idea.
Yeah.
We can try to decipher this. Here it is.
The beer brewed here, it is used to make the brew beer in this refinery.
What?
Oh, Earth Rider, thanks for the Great Lakes. I wonder what it's called.
And did you hear the laughter? Did you hear it? What in
Can
the
you
hell?
just play it again really quick?
Okay.
I tell you what, they're going to keep him here. The beer brewed here, it is used to make the brew beer in this refinery. Oh, Earth Rider, thanks for the Great Lakes.
Oh my God. I can't. People are laughing at that. Like it's like, oh, we're totally effed. This guy's dementia. Oh my God, he just crapped his pants.
What in the world?
Nobody knows. I think I heard the word brew.
Yeah,
and that's it. That's
and there
all
was
I heard.
another word I picked up on. I can't even remember it now because it just without the there's no context. Like it just doesn't make any sense what he said. It makes no sense. Oh my God. He's such a disaster.
God. That's our president, you guys. That's our president. He's gonna attack Texas. That guy's gonna attack us. I can't. It's so great.
Ricardo Garcia, thank you. Ricardo says, as a family that came into the country through the legal channels, these idiots coming in illegally can wait for years for all I care. Yeah.
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 Exactly. I know. This is the thing. Think of the people who are waiting to get in.
I can't imagine
through legal means. Think of those people. Oh my God. I'd be so livid. Can you imagine?
Same. Charity Inglis, thank you. Charity says that shows the RNC are globalists and are going to what help me, you guys. What does it say?
That shows the RNC are globalists and are going to do what that something crazy was saying about it. Polls deciding elections without actually having an election is crazy. Yeah.
Maybe she's referring to Klaus Schwab.
Yes.
Maybe that's what that is. Okay. Yes, that's what that is. Thank you, Charity. KJP, very, very excited about this new GDP stat that came out yesterday. It looks like the economy is growing, even though that's like not. If you listen to our deep dive with Zach on Sunday, you'll understand why this is all a big scam. But anyway, they're celebrating the fact that there was a good GDP report yesterday. And so she, and you're going to also see Kamala here in just a bit, they are convinced that people are really starting to feel the benefit of Bidenomics. And it's shown in all of the reports.
For months, you guys have been frustrated that there's not been a correlation with public sentiment from the top line numbers that all defied expectations. Do you feel like the corner is being turned right now? People are getting it, that it's landing, and that not only will this not be a drag heading into a campaign season, this is actually going to be a benefit for the president.
Well, I'm going to be careful about the campaign season, but what I can speak to is, you just said it. Consumer sentiments, people are feeling what the economy is doing.
Oh my God.
And we have to remember, this didn't happen by accident. What we're seeing with the trends, the economic trends, it's because of what this president has done. He's put equity at the center of everything that he's talked about when it comes to the economy.
Yeah. When you guys
Who
go grocery
cares about
shopping,
equity,
right?
when it comes to the
don't
price
you
of
guys?
eggs?
You care about it, right? When you go shopping, grocery shopping, you pay your energy bills. I mean, you guys think about equity, right? You feel it. You feel it. Come on, feel it, don't you?
Oh my God, this whole thing. Well, we just, we need to explain it better. This is Kamala amazingly not using her new line about telling people who brung it to them. She doesn't use that here, but she's still trying to say we just need to take more credit.
So you're right. We have a lot of accomplishments. And I think what the American people want most in their leaders is that we actually get things done. And we have done it. We haven't taken adequate credit for it, frankly. And we got to do a better job of getting the word out about what we have accomplished and who did it.
That's so weird since they have the entire media in their pocket.
I know,
And it's
right?
like, and you have a messaging problem? Like, really? Okay. It's okay. It's a PR problem. Right.
Andrew Yang still stumping for Dean Phillips, and he believes that the very first party, whether it's the Republicans or the Democrats, the first party to lose their 80-year-old incumbent will be the party that wins.
The fact is, whichever party can free itself from its 80-year-old incumbent is going to win in the fall. I think the Republicans are about to fail that test, and Democrats still have a chance to pass it.
That would be RFK.
What do you mean?
RFK. He's the party, right? He's the independent guy. He's the guy that's not 80 years old.
Well, Yang was talking about Dean Phillips. He wants Dean Phillips to replace Biden.
No.
And I don't think Dean's going to be the guy.
No.
I think Biden's going to get replaced for sure.
Yeah.
But people forget too, and I know Trump supporters are very, very excited about his possibilities, but they forget how RFK Jr. is such a thorn in the side of both parties potentially, but probably our side more so.
Yeah.
And so RFK Jr. was on with Jesse Waters to talk about how his campaign is doing.
Couldn't debate you. Now it might look like he's not going to debate Trump. He's not going to campaign. Where does that leave RFK Jr. in all this mix here?
Well, I'm already, my favorability ratings are now better than either President Trump or President Biden. I am beating both President Trump and President Biden in all Americans under 45. In the 6 battleground states, I'm beating them across the country, but very, very decisively with independent voters which are now the biggest party. This will be the first election in American history where independents are now the biggest self-identified party. I'm gaining points in the election, about 1 point a month, and I've got 9 months, and I've got all I need to do is to get to 34 points to win the election, and I'm already at 24.
Wow.
Average in the battleground states.
Are you on the ballot in these battlegrounds?
No, but I'll be on the ballot in every state and the District of Columbia. We just completed our signatories today for New Hampshire. We got 5,000 signatures in a single day. So it took us 1 day to qualify for New Hampshire. So I'm very, very confident that we'll be in the ballot. And I think, Jesse, people, I don't think we got the 2 most unpopular people running in modern history. And I think that Americans deserve more than choosing the lesser of 2 evils. And if you talk to Republicans or Democrats, so many of them say, yeah, I'm not voting for President Biden, I'm voting against President Trump, and vice versa. And I think it's really important for our democracy that we have somebody who can inspire us and somebody that people actually like and want to vote for. So, and
imagine that. Imagine a politician someone actually likes. That would be fun. All right, RFK Jr.
I think people are really underestimating this guy.
I do too.
Everybody discounts him. Everybody discounts him. But man, if he picks somebody like a Tulsi as his running mate, you guys, I totally think you're underestimating him.
Yeah.
Just saying. We'll see what happens.
if he really does, if it's accurate that he's already at 24% and in these battleground states, and there is still so much more time to go before the election, and we still have Trump going through all of his court battles where he's facing 91 charges. You don't think he's going to get convicted of at least one? Like, there's all kinds of things that can happen just between now and then.
I take that completely off the plate, and I just look at young people. You know, I look at the young people in my life, and just young people in general who want it. It's like that whole likability thing. They're into that. We're not so much into that. We're into who could run the country. That's what I'm into. I'm into, is this guy a good CEO? Can he run the country? Because I don't care about liking him. Can he do a good job? I want to hire somebody who can do the job. Young people are not that way, y'all. Remember what you were like when you were young. You were dumb. Remember, okay? Young people are going to look at RFK and be like, oh, he is likable, you know?
Uh-oh. It's time. Okay.
It's time.
I'm taking it.
Yeah. So young people are going to look at him in a totally different way than we do. That's all I'm saying. I just think that people are underestimating this guy.
I do too. I think he's going to hurt. I think he's going to hurt Trump more than he will Biden. And that is a problem because that helps ensure Biden victory. And that's terrifying.
And I don't think he's in it to help Biden. I think he's in it to win it.
Oh, he
wants to win it. Yeah,
for sure. Without question. The other just interesting little factoid that I saw happening on Twitter yesterday is that I did not realize that I think I knew this and then put it out of my mind about a month ago that Laura Loomer has made herself an enemy out of Marjorie Taylor Greene. And which is weird to me because they are so similar in many ways. But Laura Loomer hates her to the point because she knows that she believes that Marjorie Taylor Greene is in Kevin McCarthy's pocket and always was. And so she just is not forgiving her. And it's to the point now where she has decided she's going to move to Georgia and primary Marjorie Taylor Greene. So,
gosh.
She did a poll where she asked her followers, should I move one state over to Georgia and primary professional con woman Marjorie Taylor Greene, who exists for the sake of doing Speaker McCarthy's bidding? And then 75% of her following said, hell yeah. So she said, wow, the poll results are in. I think I need to start looking for a place in Rome, Georgia. I've been seriously approached by Republican Party leaders in Georgia since I posted this poll. I have proven myself these last 4 years as a robust campaign fundraiser.
Okay, so yeah, that shows you again why, if that is true, that Republican Party leaders have approached her, then that shows you again that our party is effed.
Oh my God. I mean,
if that is in fact true.
Can you imagine being a Rome, Georgia voter and seeing those two names on your ballot and just being like, I give up. I can't.
I mean, I know exactly who I know who I'd vote for though out of the two of them.
I mean, between the two of them,
blatantly obvious who I'd vote for. I mean, but still, my God. What are we doing?
I don't
RNC?
know.
What are you doing, RNC?
I don't know.
God.
Also, John Fetterman continues to be on the right side of issues. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what happened in his therapy. I don't know what happened in his recovery. His brain got rewired and now he is right a lot of the time. And it is just weird, you guys. Weird. The thing that he was right about most recently. Oh, wait, first we have to, that's for later. Here he is talking about Zyn, which I did not know a lot about. But Zyn is this like tobacco.
It's like smokeless tobacco thing.
Yeah, like some goo that you put like in your jar.
It's like
or whatever.
dip. Remember how guys used to dip? Remember in high school, you had your like guy friends that would dip, and it's kind of gross, but I mean,
it's totally gross.
Up to you. But I feel like it's up to you if you want to do that.
Yeah, and the reason you feel like that is because you are a freedom-loving conservative.
Yeah, it's your choice, man. If you want to do that, you do it, and you're not hurting anybody.
And I guess Chuck Schumer is like all Mr. I'm going to ban Zyn. And so Fetterman was asked about it, and here is what he said.
I'm going to err on the side of more freedom and personal choices of those kinds of things. And I made that same argument when I wanted to legalize marijuana. Like, and more than 500,000 Americans die every year from smoking and tobacco, or tens and tens of thousands die from alcohol. And I think there's bigger issues to address than that product. So I don't support it, and I would never. And support snuff or chewing tobacco, but it's available.
Right. This is the thing. That should be a personal choice. Like if you want to do that, you do it. I think it's absolutely disgusting, but it's you do you, man.
Right. And it's John Fetterman saying that. What is
Yeah.
happening?
Yeah, it's I don't understand. He's recovering from a stroke, right? His brain is healing, and I guess when your brain heals, you become smarter.
I guess so. Also, Governor Whitmer, casserole queen herself.
She lives in a hot plate state.
She lives in a hot plate state. She has done a new promotion with a potato, and Greg Gutfeld was making fun of it. I don't know what possessed her to want to do this or think this was a good idea, but here is what she did.
Hey, Governor Whitmer, how's it going?
Hi, Professor Potato. I wanted to share some Yukon Gold news with you, my best spud.
What is it?
We both agree that every Michigander deserves an opportunity to go to college without frying their bank account.
Absolutely. A higher education helps you learn more skills, pursue your passions, and even plant your roots right here in Michigan.
What is happening?
I think we found out where Brian Stelter's been.
So great. Why? Why did they do that? Why was that
don't know.
necessary? People are like, what the hell am I watching? I know, right? We asked that too. Yeah.
It's just mortifying, you guys. Utterly mortifying. And then I don't know if you happen to catch the fact that Tucker is in Canada right now doing a tour, and he was in Calgary and he was in Edmonton, and people are mad. Like the liberals, the leftists in Canada are super mad that he.
Why?
Because how dare a right-winger come to Canada?
God, are
so
you
they've
serious?
been super mad about it. Oh yeah.
Oh
and
my
Justin
gosh.
Trudeau once is like trying to demean Tucker in the most ridiculous speech. So when he talks in front of a crowd, you can tell that he's hoping with his dramatic pauses that he's going to get applause, right? And he just doesn't really. But he also the fact that he mentions Tucker, this is the Prime Minister of Canada, the fact that Tucker is under his skin, I love it. I love that he is getting space rent free,
totally
all up in there. It is so perfect. Here's Justin Trudeau.
My very first call this year was with Volodymyr Zelensky, who wanted to know that Canada still stood with him, that Canadians still stood with him. And I told him, yes, we do. The Canadian government and most of the parties in the House will continue to stand with him. But Pierre Poilievre and his Conservatives chose to vote against support for Ukraine, calling it a faraway foreign land to appease Putin apologists like Tucker Carlson and those who enable him. While he does that, we have people like Yvonne Baker and Mark Gerritsen who are showing our liberal government.
I mean, what a
complete putz. He's a total douche canoe. Yeah. So I mean, he looks scared though. Like the posturing, it's like he does. It's because you're right. He is in his head, and when they start going after alternative media, you're scared. You scared. You scared, soy boy. Yeah.
You in danger.
You in
Because
danger.
conservative media and alternative media has a voice, and it is getting louder and louder and louder.
Right.
And I
You
love
desperate. You desperate, soy boy.
Alyssa Milano, I could not believe that this was real, but this is real. You guys, so she's got a son who plays baseball, which great. That's awesome for her. Yay.
I'm surprised by that. I'm actually surprised that she has a son that plays actual sports. Yeah.
Well,
I
she
really
does.
am. Yeah.
And a lot of us have raised kids in travel sports teams, right? And it's expensive. I mean, it costs a lot of money to cart your kid around and pay for all the dues and fees and equipment and all the registrations and all the. I mean, it's expensive.
It is.
And we all know this.
Yep.
But I cannot fathom starting a GoFundMe and posting it to the world to get help paying for my kids' travel team. And yet, Alyssa Milano did just that. She started a GoFundMe saying on Twitter, my son's baseball team is raising money for their Cooperstown trip. Any amount would be so greatly appreciated.
Oh my God.
You can read more about the team and make a donation here. And people inexplicably were. I cannot fathom why people would be giving Alyssa Milano, who has a net worth of $10 million, why they would be giving her money for her son's travel team. But this is the world that we live in.
What is wrong with people?
I could not believe my eyes when I saw that.
The entitlement. That just shows you exactly who she is. What an entitled brat.
Right? Just incredible.
Oh my God. Use your own money.
Yeah. You have enough. This is not something that you start GoFundMes for. I could not believe it.
Wow. Yeah. Wow is right. Unreal.
All right. It is time for some double Ds.
Okay, what did I do for double D's today? What did I do?
You have the sisters.
Oh, the sisters, you guys. This is like, I love this so much. At first I was like, will people be offended by this? Because I'm not offended by this at all. I think it's really sweet and precious. But there were some people in the comments of this thing that when you guys see it, you'll see that some people were like, I don't know if this is appropriate. It's completely appropriate, completely awesome. And I love both of these girls. One is deaf and one is not. And I love it. So you guys just watch.
Chick-fil-A. Hobby Lobby. Apple bottom jeans.
I love these two.
Boots with the fur.
I love them.
Boots with fur.
They're just having so much fun.
I know. She's trying to read her lip. The giggling thing, it reminds me of you and your sister. They're totally you guys.
I know.
God, the greatest. I love them so
my
much.
God.
I thought they were very sweet.
So
Whenever
cute.
siblings are sweet like that, it's the best. Love it.
You guys, there's only going to be one talk today because I got to go. And because I'm starting to feel weird.
She's feeling weird, you guys. She's loopy right now. I can tell.
Some people were asking, they were like, did you just take that without water? Yeah, that's how I take pills. I just take them. Just how I do. I mean, it's teeny tiny. It's like super teeny.
Listen to her. She's like, it's teeny tiny. Woo! Yeah.
So anyway, there's only going to be one talk today, but it is brought to you by our friends at mypillow.com/chicks. You should spend your money with them because they will, first of all, save you money on things that you need for your bed. There's so many things that are on huge sale right now at mypillow.com/chicks, including flannel sheets, which is your favorite.
Right. I love flannel sheets. I do.
So
they're my absolute favorite. That's right. You should get some.
mypillow.com/chicks. Okay, I'm only showing you one because
just one.
This is just so this was going viral yesterday. See if you can see any irony. Okay, so you're gonna see this girl, and you're gonna just listen to her message, which I think is a positive-ish message.
Yeah,
but just if you can recognize any irony.
Okay,
you ready?
Yes.
I think that we seriously need to boycott face filters in 2024. It's not cute anymore. It's fucking weird, honestly. I don't know why people or anyone or why I ever at any point in my life felt like I should look less human online and look like a more perfected version of myself, because it's just so bizarre, and I don't know when we normalize this shit. But right now, I encourage everyone who's like still on the filter game to stop using it. Like, free yourself from that. I used to not like recording myself without a filter on, and now I feel so weird when I have a filter on because I'm like, that's just not me. It's not realistic. You know, we all have skin and texture and
We're being punked, right? Is
whatever
it?
imperfections, and I think that's what makes us all individually us and beautiful. And this is your reminder to drop the fucking filters in 2024. We're human.
What that we're being, that's not real. It's a parody, right? Because she was stung by tracker jackers in her face. She was stung.
So
Seriously,
she's anti-filter, but pro faking everything else.
Listen, I'd probably piss somebody off by saying this, but it's like all these young, a lot of them conservative influencers who are out there and they're like, this thing is toxic and this thing is toxic and this thing is toxic. You can't drink, eat, do this. Everything is toxic, you guys. But look at all the shit I put in my face. And I'm like, have you seen you? Have you? Quit telling me what to eat, drink, and not do. All right? Knock it off. Yeah.
Anyway, that was your talk for today.
Yeah, that was good. I like it. You feeling good? Everybody hug Mock. Hug her. Okay, there's gonna be no Astrid because we gotta go because she's looped.
Yeah, I gotta go, you guys.
She's totally
Sorry.
looped. You guys have a fantastic weekend, and we will talk to you on Monday.
How do I end this? Okay, here it is.
How do I end this? She said, this is gonna be great. It's gonna go all day. Okay.